Good morning and welcome to JJK Yoga. So as always, we're going to begin in a lying down position. So if you start to make your way down to the mat, bring your soles of your feet together and let your knees splay out to the sides. So we're going to be doing a lot of hip work today. So make sure you're nice and comfortable. If you find it difficult to come into this position with your knees splayed out, if you have any blocks or cushions, you can place them underneath your thighs, or just have your feet on the mat, knees bent. Have your feet about hip distance or wider and draw your knees in together. Okay? So obviously choose the option that feels right to you. Once you've found your comfortable position, have your arms down by your sides, palms facing up. And then just slowly start to bring yourself to your mat. When you're ready, just start to close your eyes and start to bring your gaze inward. So take a moment here to scan through your body and notice if you're holding on to any tension. And now slowly start to bring your awareness to your breath. And we're going to slowly start to move towards our Ujjayi breath. The breath that involves breathing in and out of the nose. As you breathe in and out of your nose, you create that restriction at the back of the throat, which creates an audible breath. It should sound like an ocean wave rolling in and out. As you inhale, allow your belly to rise and your ribs to expand. And as you exhale, slowly lift your pelvic floor, draw the navel towards the spine as you slowly expel all the breath out of your body. And just continue with this breath and movement of your belly, which rises on the inhale and falls on the exhale. On your next inhale, really draw the breath in through the sides of the torso, allowing your ribs to expand. And again, as you exhale, lift that pelvic floor and really start to draw that navel towards the spine as you slowly start to activate your bandhas. Just a couple more breaths here now. So for your last couple, maybe just draw the breath into any areas that you might be feeling tightness. And just slowly notice how the breath can help to soften that tightness. After your next full breath, start to open your eyes and bring yourself back into the room. Place your hands outside your thighs and draw your feet back onto the mat. So we'll all meet with our feet on the mat. Have your feet and your knees hip distance, toes are pointing forward, knees tracking over the toes. And I just want you to place your palms down by your sides. Press the shoulders into the mat. Take an inhale and slowly lift your lower spine, your middle spine and your upper spine off the mat. Trying to draw your chest up towards your chin. And as you exhale, vertebra by vertebra, start to bring your spine down to the mat. Tuck your tailbone and bring yourself all the way back. Inhale, and again, slowly lift your lower spine, your middle spine, your upper spine off the mat. Make sure your knees don't start to fall out. Really draw your pubic bone down towards your knees. And again, as you exhale, you're trying to bring each vertebra back down to the mat. Again, lifting your pelvic floor, drawing the navel towards the spine. Just a couple more now. Inhale. So really creating a nice straight line at the front of that torso. And exhale, slowly coming back down. One more. Inhale. Just really opening up the spine here. And exhale. Nice. Now bring your feet, your knees and your thighs to touch. Your heels are just under your knees. And let's do some core work. So take an inhale, and as you exhale, lift that pelvic floor and squeeze navel to spine. So you really want to plant your lower back into the mat. There should be no gap between the mat and your back. So you can just see if you can thread your hand through. If you can, you need to really draw your navel down to the spine. Now, bring your hands behind your ears, elbows nice and open. Make sure those feet are firmly pressing into the mat and the thighs are squeezing into each other. Again, take an inhale. And as you exhale, slowly start to lift your shoulders off the mat, drawing your chest up towards your knees. Make sure the front of your torso is pressing down towards the back of the mat. Inhale, slowly lower. Try not to drop all the way down. And exhale, come back up. Just checking on your back, make sure it's glued to the mat. Inhale, lower. And exhale, back up. Really lift that pelvic floor and squeeze navel to spine. Inhale, lower. Exhale, back up. So chin is away from the chest. Neck nice and long. Elbows nice and open. Inhale, lower. Last one. And exhale, come back up. Really squeeze the navel to the spine. And then slowly come down. You can release your hands here, palms face up. Just take a breath here. And we're going to repeat that set again. So this time you have an option to raise your feet off the mat. So your legs are parallel to the mat, knees stacked above your hips. Keep the feet nice and flexed. Again, make sure your feet, your knees and thighs are squeezing towards each other and lower back is connected to the mat. Everyone bring your hands behind your ears, elbows nice and open. Again, lift that pelvic floor, squeeze navel to spine, take an inhale, and as you exhale, slowly lifting your chest up towards your knees. Inhale, lower. Exhale, back up. So your exhale is longer than your inhale. Inhale, lower. Exhale, back up. You should start feeling that fire in your belly now. Inhale, lower. Exhale, back up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, up. And then slowly calm down. Bring your feet down to the mat and release your hands down by your sides. Take a breath here. Okay, so this time we're going to do some side punches. So again, you're going to raise your feet off the mat, knees stacked above your hips. So remember there's two options here. I'll just show you the options. So as you bring your left elbow to your right knee, your left foot can come onto the mat, or you can keep it off the mat and just draw that leg away. Okay, so just choose the option that's right for you. So foot to mat, or foot draws away. Okay, so we're going to do alternative sides. So start to bring your knees above your hips. Bring your hands behind your ears again. Take an inhale, lift that pelvic floor, draw navel to spine. As you exhale, start to lift your chest off the mat. And so we're going to do this for a minute. Take an inhale, as you exhale, slowly draw your left elbow to your right knee. Left leg draws away. And then switch it over. Right elbow to left knee. Inhale back, exhale, squeeze. So you don't need to move too fast through these. Really just working on the squeeze here. Just checking on your breath. Make sure you're breathing. You're not holding your breath. You still want that back to be pressing into the mat. 20 seconds, guys. Doing really well. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Bring yourself down to the mat. Try not to draw your knees into your chest just yet. Arms down by your sides. Okay, so this time we're going to raise our legs up to the ceiling. If you have tight hamstrings, you can have a bend in your knee. Flex your feet so your toes point in, heels draw up. And then raise your hands, fingertips up towards your toes. Again, lift that pelvic floor, draw the navel towards the spine. Take an inhale. As you exhale, lift yourself off the mat, reaching the fingertips up towards the toes. Now we're going to slowly pulse it up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep the legs where they are, lower the body, bring the palms down by your side. Remember, any lower back issues, you can plant your hands underneath your lower back. And again, draw the heels away, toes point in. Lift that pelvic floor, squeeze navel to spine, take an inhale. As you exhale, slowly, with control, lower your right leg down towards the mat. You want to keep it about an inch off the mat. Keep drawing that heel away as that pelvic floor keeps lifting. And then inhale, again with the same control, slowly lift that leg back up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, lower the left leg. Keep drawing the heel away. So you want to make sure you're using your banders to create this movement. You should be feeling the burn in your belly. Inhale, slowly lift. So try to move slowly and in time with your breath. Exhale, draw the right leg down towards the mat. Inhale, back to the ceiling. Exhale, left leg down. Just checking in your breath, make sure you're breathing. Inhale, all the way back up. Last set. Exhale, the right leg. Inhale, all the way back up. And then exhale the left. And slowly coming all the way back up. Now bring your legs together, insides of your feet, knees and thighs touching. Draw the heels away, toes point in. Again, lift that pelvic floor, squeeze navel to spine. Keep your shoulders glued to the mat. Take an inhale. As you exhale, we're going to slowly lower our feet down to the mat for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done, guys. Now draw your toes away. Lift your arms over your head. Just stretching out the whole body. Stretch the right and the left. And then just draw your knees in. Have a gentle rock. Knees to chest. And then place your left foot on the mat. Draw that right knee into the chest. Really squeeze it down towards that right armpit. Take an inhale as you exhale. Really squeeze it in again. And then next inhale, lengthen that leg up to the ceiling. Just wrap your hands around that right thigh. Just drawing that right heel away. And then bend that knee. Place the outside of that foot onto the left thigh. Use your right hand to draw that right leg away. And if you want to go a little bit further, you can raise your left foot off the mat. Wrap your hands around your left thigh. And as you draw that left leg in towards you, use your right arm to draw that right leg away. Keep the right foot flexed. Try to keep the hips joined down to the mat. And then slowly release that left foot. Release the right. Bring your left knee into your chest now. Inhale as you exhale. Really squeeze it down towards that left armpit. One more squeeze here. And then slowly lengthen that leg up to the ceiling. Wrap your hands around your left thigh. And then bend that knee. Place the outside of that foot on your right thigh. Use your left hand to draw that left leg away. So that might be enough for you. If you want to go a bit further, just raise the right foot off. Wrap your hands around your right thigh. Draw that right thigh in towards you. Use your left arm to draw the left leg away. Keep the left foot flexed. And again, try not to let your lower back lift off the mat. And then slowly place that foot onto the mat. And now slowly draw both knees into your chest. You can hug your knees in here, maybe have a gentle rock from side to side. And then we're going to slowly either roll onto one side and make our way to tabletop, or place our hands under the thigh and just rock and roll a few times on our spine, just massaging out the spinal muscles. And then we're all going to slowly make our way to a tabletop position. So in your tabletop position, make sure your wrists are directly under your shoulders, spread your fingers nice and wide, and knees directly under your hips. Now, keep a nice neutral spine, so make sure you're drawing that belly in, and then tuck your right toes behind you, so you're extending that right leg behind you, and just again working into that right hamstring. Make sure your right wrist is directly under your right shoulder, and then you're going to lift your left arm by your left ear, reaching the fingertips forward. So you can stay here as a first option. Second option, raise your right foot off the mat, so your heel is in line with your hip. As you draw your fingertips forward, you draw your heel back, creating a nice straight long line. Now slowly lower your left palm down, bringing your wrist under your shoulder, and bring your toes back onto the mat. Now you're going to keep your left knee where it is, lift your left foot and slide your left foot to the left, and then you're going to come onto the inside of your right foot. So we're coming to a supported half moon pose. So this is the first option. You can stay with your foot on the mat, just use your hand to open that right hip up, and then lift that hand so your shoulders are in line. And if you want, you can start to raise the right foot off the mat, so your right heel is in line with your right hip again. Just really opening up that right side. Keep your gaze forward. And then lower the foot, lower the hand, and come back to your tabletop. So we're going to repeat that on the other side. Extend your left leg now, tucking your toes. Make sure your left wrist is underneath your left shoulder, and extend your right arm in front. Extend your right arm so your arm is by your ear. You can stay there, or you can start to lift your left foot so your left heel is in line with your left hip, creating a nice long energy line. Now slowly bring your right hand back down to the mat, bring your left toes back, and then keeping your right knee where it is, lift your right foot and just just slide it over to the right. And then you're going to slowly drop onto the inside of your left foot, opening up to the left side. So remember, first option is to stay with your foot on the mat. You can start to extend that left arm in line with your right arm. Second option, you can start to lift the foot, so your heel is in line with your hip. Gaze is forward. Again, checking on your breath, make sure you're breathing. And then slowly lower the foot and lower the hand. And come back to your tabletop. Now we're going to bring our big toes to touch, knees hip distance or slightly wider. Come to sit on your heels. Take an inhale. As you exhale, just extend your hands forward as you come into your first child's pose. Keep those hips drawing back. And then lift your head about an inch off the mat. Walk your hands to the top left-hand corner. Bring your right hand on top of your left. Drop your right shoulder. Just extending that right side. And then slowly walk your hands back to centre. Then walk your hands over to the top right-hand corner. Drop your left hip back. Bring your left palm on top of your right hand. Extending the left side now. And then slowly walk your hands back to centre. Take one more breath here. We're going to slowly make our way to a downward dog. So once you're in your downward dog, you might just want to pedal out your feet here. You may want to just bend both knees to one side and then to the other. Just do whatever feels right to you. And then slowly start to make your way to a static dog. Keep those hips drawing back. Keep the energy just lifting from your fingers all the way up to your hips. And then come on, tie onto your tippy toes. Lift that pelvic floor, squeeze navel to spine, gaze towards your hands, and then slowly tiptoe your feet towards your hands. So keep the hips nice and high. And then when you reach the top of your mat, just place your feet down onto the mat, maybe about hip distance. Bend your knees so your chest can connect to your thighs, and then just grab opposite elbows here. You nod your head yes and no. Maybe sway from side to side. And then slowly release your hands and roll up standing. Reaching your arms up and over your head. Hands through prayer. Now come to face me. Just do some side stretches. So bring your feet together. Make sure you're pressing down into all four corners of your feet. So the big toe, the ball of the big toe, little toe, both sides of the heel. And then we're going to slowly inhale, reach our arms up and over our head. Grab the back of your right wrist, reach your right fingertips up to the ceiling, press down through that right heel. Take an inhale as you exhale, draw the hand over to your left, hips over to your right, really extending that right side. And then come back up. Grab the back of your left wrist, reach those left fingertips up, press down through the left heel. Inhale as you exhale, hand over to the right, hips over to the left. Try to keep the shoulder in line with the hip. And then back to centre. Hands through prayer. Well done. Come to the top of your mat. Maybe leave about a footprint in front. Let's do some side salutations. Inhale. Exhale, slowly swan dive down. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, step your right foot back, drop your knee, chest forward. Plant your hands down, tuck your toes, left foot to right foot, plank pose. Remember, if you have any issues with your back or your shoulders, you can drop your knees. So option to drop knees. Now really draw those heels back and squeeze everything in. Now lower the knees down. Slowly drop your chest and chin down towards your hands. Scoop your body forward. Untuck your toes and come to a low cobra. Shoulders drawing down your back. Press down into your hands and come back to your downward dog. If you have really tight hamstrings, you can have a bend in your knee. So just remember to bend your knees so that you're not placing too much pressure on your lower back. And then really try to draw the weight into your feet. Try and draw your shoulders away from your ears. Slowly gaze between your hands and step your right foot through. Drop your left knee. Inhale, chest forward. Exhale, plant your hands down. Step your left foot to your right. Take a breath here. And then slowly as you inhale, roll up to standing. Arms up and over your head. Hands through prayer. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, this time step your left foot back, drop your knee, chest forward. And then slowly plant your hands, come back into your plank pose or half plank. Remember your shoulders are over your wrists. Imagine the front of your thighs reaching up towards the ceiling. Keep lifting that pelvic floor, squeezing your belly button up towards your spine. Now drop your knees. Slowly lower your chin and chest in between your hands. Scoop that body forward, the shoulders draw back, and make your way to a low cobra. And then slowly come back into your downward dog. Once in your downward dog, make sure you're drawing those hips up and back. Try to draw the front of the thighs to the back of the room. Got a nice straight spine. And then gaze between your hands, step your left foot through, drop your back knee, chest forward. And then get your right foot to meet your left foot, standing forward fold. Pressing down into your heels, inhale, roll up to standing. Hands over your head, exhale, hands through prayer. Lovely. So that again, inhale, exhale, inhale halfway, exhale. We're going to come into a runner's lunge, so step your right foot back, keep the knee off the mat, chest forward. Lovely. Plant your hands down, come back into your plank. So, again, you can come to half plank, and then you can come through knees, chest, chin, where you drop your knees, lower your chin and chest to your hands, and then make your way to low cobra and up, downward dog. Or you can join me and start to shift your body forward, bend your elbows so your shoulders in line with your elbows, tuck your toes, and come into upward dog, keeping your knees and thighs off the mat. And then roll over your feet and come back to your downward dog. Well done, guys. Lift your right leg off the mat, and then bend your knee, drawing your heel to your buttock, lifting your knee up to the ceiling, and stretching that right side. Gaze under your right armpit, and then slowly lower that foot down, and step it in between your hands. Drop your back knee. So keep that front knee stacked above your heel, and just hold it here. And draw that left knee as far back as you can. Just breathing into the front of that left quad and hip. Maybe into the inside or outside that right leg. Take an inhale. As you exhale, you're going to slowly shift your hips back and just extend that front leg. So we'll start with our toes pointing up, drawing our torso onto the inside of the leg. Try not to lock out that right knee. Take an inhale. As you exhale, drop those toes down to the mat, just extending the front of that leg. And then as you inhale, we reach the toes back up. And we're going to come forwards. Lovely. Hold it here for a moment. And then bring your hands onto the inside of your right leg. Maybe step your right foot about an inch to the right. And then you plant your hands to the inside of your right leg so your right thigh is joined towards your right arm. If you want, you can maybe drop down to your elbows. Again, if you are dropping down to your elbows, your forearm is next to the inside of your right foot and your knee is still drawing in towards your right arm. Gaze is forward. Keep breathing. Slowly come back up. Now, walk your right foot another inch to the right. Keep your right toe where it is and turn your right toes out. And then come onto the outside of that right foot. But you make sure your left wrist is underneath your left shoulder. And place your right hand onto the inside of that right leg, just opening up that hip. Turn your torso over that leg. Lovely. Now stay here, or if you want to come to a variation, draw that left leg back so that when you bend that knee, you're on the top of that left thigh, and you can use your right hand to grab that left foot, drawing that left heel in towards your buttock. Again, keep your body turned over that right leg. So remember, you don't have to do the second option. If you are doing the second option, make sure you're not on your left kneecap. So you just end up working the front of that left hip as well. Now those of you with your foot, your left foot raised, bring it back down to the mat. Now everyone, drop your right big toe onto the mat. Keep your foot in the direction it's in. And then we're going to slowly start to lower our left hip down to the mat. So you might need to move your left hand here. You can place your right hand over your right knee, but make sure that left foot is back on the mat. And keep dropping that left hip down. So you're feeling that at the front of your left hip now. And then slowly start to make your way back up. And then we're going to tuck our left toes and come back into our downward dog. And pedal out the feet here if you want. And again, pressing down into those hands, you're going to slowly lift your left leg up to a ceiling. Bend your knee, and then draw that knee up to the ceiling. Bringing that left heel to your left buttock. Make sure the weight is equally balanced between both hands. You can gaze over your left shoulder. Then slowly bring that foot back and step it in between your hands, drawing that right knee back. So again, check your left knee is stacked above your left heel and your knee is tracking over your toes. Lovely. You can draw that right leg further back if you can and just hold it there. You want to find that first point of resistance and just breathe into it. Take an inhale as you exhale. You're going to slowly start to draw your hips back, extending your front leg. And first the toes point up. Take an inhale as you exhale. You can start to draw your torso onto the inside of that left leg. Try to soften your shoulders here, so try not to let tension creep up into those shoulders. Take an inhale as you exhale. Drop those toes down to the mat. So you're just extending the front of that left leg now. Inhale, reaching back up. And then slowly make yourself back to the front. Hold it there. Now step your left foot about an inch to the left and bring your hands onto the inside. So you're going to stay on your palms, drawing that left knee into your left arm. Or you can come down to your elbows. If you're coming down to your elbows, just bring that left elbow in line with that left foot. And then draw that left knee into that left arm, gazes forward. Again, try to soften those shoulders down your back. And just checking on your breath. And then slowly start to make your way back up. Bring your right wrist directly under your right hand, and then just walk your left foot an inch to the left. Keep your left heel where it is and turn your left toes out. And then come onto the outside of your left foot. Bring your left hand onto the inside of your left thigh and just open that hip, turning your torso over that leg. Now you can stay here and just work with that position. Or if you want, you can you can lift your right foot off the mat. Again, make sure you're on the top of your right thigh. And then bring your left hand to grab your right foot and draw your right heel in towards your right buttock. If you're doing the second position, please make sure you're not on your kneecap. And then keep the torso turning over your left leg. Wherever you are, just check in on your breath, make sure you're breathing. And those with your right foot raised, bring your foot back down. Now everyone, keeping your left foot where it is, just drop your left big toe back onto the mat. So you want to bring that foot back onto the mat. And then you're just going to drop that right hip down towards the mat. You bring your left hand and arm over your left knee. So you're really starting to work the front of that right hip now. Again, just checking on your breath. And then slowly calm back up. Bring yourself all the way back. Take a breath here. And then just tuck your back toes. Step back into your downward dog. If you need to pedal your feet here, you can. We're just going to take a quick child's pose because we're going to come into wild thing from here. So just drop down to your knees, bring your big toes together, knees hip distance wide, and just make your way down to a child's pose. And use this time in child's pose just to reconnect with your breath. Maybe think about breathing into the backs of your shoulder blades. And then slowly start to make your way back into a tabletop. Tuck your toes and come back into your downward dog. So this time you're going to raise your right foot up towards the ceiling. Bend your knee. So heel come towards your buttock, knee towards the ceiling. So this is the first option. You can stay here gazing under your right armpit, just really extending that right side of the body. Or you can start to shift the weight into your left hand now. Come onto the outside of your left foot, making sure your left leg is extended. And drop your right toes behind your left leg. Right knee is bent. Drawing your chest and hips up towards the ceiling. Right arm extends behind you. So we're coming into wild thing. Keep breathing. And then slowly bring yourself all the way back to downward dog. Take a breath there. And this time we're going to raise our left leg up to the ceiling. Bend your knee and draw your heel towards your buttock. So remember, you can stay here working on this position. Really drawing the knee up to the ceiling, gazing under your left armpit, making sure the weight is equally distributed between both hands. Or, if you're coming to the second position, start to shift the weight into your right hand. Come onto the outside of that right foot. And then drop your left toes down, knee bent. Extending your chest and hips up to the ceiling. Try not to fling your head back here. Keep breathing. Try to draw the sternum to face the ceiling. And then slowly come back. Well done. Now gaze between your hands. Step your right foot through, coming into your runner's lunge. Inhale, chest forward. Exhale, step your left foot to your right foot. Drop your head. Take a breath here. And then we're going to slowly roll up to standing. Arms up and over your head, hands in prayer. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway. Make sure your shoulders draw down your back. Exhale, plant your hands down and step your left foot back this time. Inhale, chest forward. Exhale, come back into your plank. So remember, options to come down to knees, chest, chin for your low cobra into downward dog, or coming through chaturanga into upward dog. So choose the option that's right for you. If you're coming through chaturanga, keep your elbows above your wrists, extend your body forward, shoulders to elbow height, tops of your feet, upward dog, knees and thighs off the mat, and then slowly tuck your toes, come to your downward dog. Lovely. Now from here, we're going to slowly start to shift our way back into plank. So in plank, you want to make sure your shoulders are over your wrists. Really spread your fingers nice and wide. Scoop your navel towards your spine. Thighs reaching up to the ceiling. And then slowly come back to your downward dog. Let's come back into our plank. So really work those thighs. Try to shift the weight out of the upper body into the lower body. Draw the heels back. And then come back. One more. Take an inhale as you exhale, come into your plank. So you want a nice straight line here. Try not to dip in your lower back. And then slowly come back. Lovely. Now, reach your right leg up to the ceiling. Take an inhale. As you exhale, draw your shoulders over your wrists and bring that right knee to the top of that right arm and squeeze, navel to spine. Inhale, leg up to the ceiling. Exhale, twist the body, draw the knee to the top of the left arm. Really squeeze, navel to spine. Inhale, leg all the way to the ceiling. Exhale, draw the knee to your chin, your nose, your forehead. Really round through the spine. And then slowly bring that leg back. Step that leg down. Gaze between your hands, step that foot through. So we're back into our lunge, low lunge. So keep that right knee over that right heel, toes and knees tracking forward. Then you can draw that left leg back. And then we're going to come into crescent lunge. So you can bring your arms over your head, Now if your shoulders are really tight, have your hands apart and just extend your torso. Really reach out to the crown of your head. If you get your palms together, bring your palms together. Keep drawing your shoulders down your back, arms nice and straight by your ears. And then you slowly start to lift your chest up towards the ceiling, drawing that left hip forward, keeping chin towards chest. Now you can stay here and work in one of these poses, or you can tuck your left toes, lift your knee off the mat, and do it as a high lunge position. Whichever position you're in, try to keep your right knee over your right heel. And then slowly, if you go in your high lunge position, we're going to step back into downward dog. If you're in low lunge, start to make your way back to downward dog. Now slowly lift your left knee up towards the ceiling. Take an inhale. As you exhale, draw your shoulders over your wrists and bring that left knee to the top of your left arm. Squeezing navel to spine. Inhale, leg to ceiling. Exhale, twist the body, draw the knee to the top of the right arm. Really squeezing. Inhale, leg to ceiling. Exhale, draw the knee to your chin, your nose, your forehead. And then bring the leg back. Set the foot down and then step it in between your hands. Drop your back knee. So again, making sure that left heel is in line with that left heel is in line with the left knee. Toes and knee tracking forward. So come to the same place as before, so either hands apart, just lifting and extending the spine. Palms together, arms by your ears, straight arms, chest drawing up towards the ceiling, drawing that right hip forward. Or you tuck your right toes. Again, make sure that left knee is above that left heel. And you come to a high lunge variation. Whichever position you're in, you really want to extend that whole front body. Try not to fling your neck back. And then slowly make your way back to your downward dog. And then come to a plank. Place your left hand to the centre of the mat. Come onto the outside of your left heel and start to make your way to side plank. So if you find side plank quite difficult, you can either draw up your left knee, come to the same version we did earlier on in the supported half moose pose, or you can maybe place your right foot behind your left, or if you can, stack your feet. And maybe if you've got your feet stacked, you can start to lift your right leg off. So side plank. And then slowly make your way back into plank. And then from there, we're going to bring our right hand to the centre of our mat. Drop onto the outside of our right foot. And remember, you go to whichever options are right for you with modification. You just drop your knee or bring your left foot behind you. Or if you want a variation, you can start to lift your left foot up towards the ceiling. Keep your gaze forward. And then slowly calm back down. Well done. Now, gaze between your hands, step your left foot through. Calm into your runner's lunge. Inhale. Exhale, right foot to left. Drop your head. And then you're going to slowly roll up to standing. Arms over your head, hands through prayer. Well done, guys. Now, come to the centre of your mat. We're going to make our way down to Warrior Two. So, step your feet out nice and wide. Turn your right toes out, your left toes in. Right toes out, left toes in. And then bend that front knee. Okay, so you want that knee, again, over your heel. Don't let it shoot beyond that. Now make sure that the outside of that back foot is pressing down into the mat, so the weight is equally balanced between both legs. Imagine you're ripping the mat in two, so really rip it in two so both thighs activate. Now draw your shoulders down your back. Bring your hands to heart center, palms face down. Soften the shoulders and arms. Activate the hands and then reach them apart. Lovely. Now imagine someone's pulling you through both sides and then turn your gaze over your right hand. So warrior two. Remember your shoulders are over your hips. Keep breathing. Try not to let that right knee drop in. Keep drawing it out. And drop your left hand onto your thigh. Reverse your right hand. Inhale, reach it forward. Exhale, bring it up and over. Side, reverse side angle pose. Reverse warrior. Gaze can be down towards your left hand. Make sure you don't lose a bend in the front knee. One more breath. Inhale. As you exhale, you're going to bring that front arm onto that front thigh. So try to reach out, try not to collapse in. And then as you inhale, reach your left arm up and over. So sweep it forward. Turn the little finger down towards the mat, chest up towards the ceiling. Now if you want, you can drop that right hand onto the inside of your foot or maybe onto the outside of your foot. If you have a block, you can use a block. Keep drawing your chest up towards the ceiling, pressing down through that left foot, reaching the left fingertips back. And then slowly come back into your warrior two and extend that front leg. Hands to hips. Step that left foot in slightly, so just heel toe it in. Make sure you're not hyperextending that front knee, so keep that knee shooting, kneecap shoot, draw that knee up so you activate that front thigh. Reach that right hand forward, palm facing me. Left hand on your hip. Take an inhale. As you exhale, start to reach the right hand forward, right hip back. Right hand forward, right hip back. Hand forward, hip back. When you can't reach anymore, place the back of that hand onto the inside of that right leg. Draw that right hip under. Really draw that right hip under as you lift, open that left hip. And then when you're ready, slowly start to lift your left arm up to the ceiling. So we're in triangle pose. Gaze can be to the, down towards your foot, if you've got any neck issues, to the side wall, or up towards your hands. Keep pressing through that back foot, opening that hip. And then slowly come back up. Lovely, guys. Now, we're going to try and make our way into a half moon pose. So if you have a block and want to use a block here, you can. Maybe you can use a chair or a wall. If you're using a wall, you can actually have your body against the wall. Otherwise, you can follow me. I'm not going to use anything. You can just keep your hand off the floor. So we start in a warrior two position, back hand on our hip. Take an inhale. As you exhale, start to draw your right fingertips down towards your right toes. Keep your gaze down. Take an inhale. As you exhale, start to shift the weight into your right foot and then slide your left leg in. As your right leg extends, start to lift your left leg off the mat. That right leg is really strong. So keep your gaze low to begin with. Once you feel comfortable here, you can start to raise your left arm off. Again, so we're coming into half moon pose. You want to try to open up your body to the left here. If you can start to turn your gaze towards the side wall. Just come out. If you fall out, just come back in. Keep breathing here, guys. If you're using a block, see if you can start to lift your hand off the block. One more breath here. And then slowly start to make your way back into your warrior two. Bring your hands to your hips. Lengthen your front leg. Turn your toes in. And step your feet in. Just shake it out. Well done. Let's do that on the other side. Nice wide stance. Right toes turn in, left toes turn out. Bend that front knee. So keep your shoulders stacked over your hips. And then bend that front knee. Make sure the knee is stacked over your heel. And make sure you're pressing through the outside edge of that right foot. Now from here, imagine you're ripping that mat in two. Really rip it into it. And notice your thighs activate. Bring your arms to heart center, palms face down. Soften your shoulders and arms again. And then extend those hands. Imagine someone's pulling those hands and gaze over your front hand. Keep breathing here. So remember your weight is equally distributed between both legs and both hands and arms. Keep those shoulders drawing down your back. Now slowly lower your right hand to your thigh, reverse your front hand. Inhale, reach it forward. Exhale, up and over. So nice side angle pose. Keep that left knee bent. Try not to let that knee drop in. Keep pressing down through the outer edge of that right foot. Draw that right hip away from that thigh. And then slowly bring your left arm onto your left thigh. Again, try not to collapse in, reach out. And then as you inhale, swoop that front hand forward and over. Little finger reaches down towards the mat. And extend the chest up towards the ceiling. Really extending that right side. So you can stay there, or maybe drop your left hand onto the inside of your foot, or onto the outside of your foot. Wherever you are, keep opening up that right side towards the ceiling. That back foot is pressing down into the mat. And then slowly come back into your warrior two. Extend your front leg, hands to hips. Heel toe the back foot in slightly. And then again, make sure you're not pulling back that left kneecap. So really draw that kneecap up so you activate that left thigh. Lovely. Left hand reaches forward, palm faces me. Take an inhale as you exhale, start to shoot that left hand forward, left hip back. Left hand forward, left hip back. When you can't reach anymore, place the back of that hand onto the inside of that left foot. Tuck that left waist under as you open the right hip. So really tuck that left waist under, right hip open. And when you're ready, you can extend the right arm above your left arm. Lovely. So in triangle pose. Remember your gaze can be down towards your foot to face me, or up towards your right hand. Keep breathing. And then slowly come back up. So we're going to come back up to our warrior two. And then we're going to slowly make our way into half moon pose. So back hand on your hip. Take an inhale as you exhale. Just draw that left hand down towards your left foot. Take an inhale. As you exhale, start to shift the weight into your left foot. As your left leg extends, your right leg's going to come off the mat. And we're going to slowly make our way into half moon pose. So keep your gaze low. Once you feel comfortable here, you can start to extend your right arm up. Lovely. And then when you feel comfortable here, you can start to turn your gaze. If you fall out, just come back in. Just think about the expansion through one hand to the other, from your foot to the crown of your head. Keep breathing. And then when you're ready, slowly come back to your warrior two. Bring your hands in, extend your front leg, draw your toes in, and step it in. Well done. Come to the top of your mat again. Inhale, reach your arms up and over. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale halfway. Exhale, just step back into your downward dog, and we're going to slowly make our way down to pigeon. So you're just going to bring your right knee behind your right wrist, right foot behind your left wrist, and draw your left leg behind you. Really tuck that left hip under. Start by bringing your hands either side of your hips. Extend your spine to begin with. Inhale. As you exhale, slowly start to bring yourself over your front leg. So please use any props, either a cushion or pillow if you need to, so you can have it maybe under your hip, your right hip, or maybe under your forehead if it doesn't reach the mat. Try to keep your arms extended if you can, but if you have tight shoulders, you can bend your elbows. Once in position, keep drawing that right hip back and that left hip under. And then just return back to your breath here. Try to soften your shoulders, so again, don't let tension creep up into your upper body. So stay here if you want, or maybe inhale, lift the torso back up, turn your torso over your right knee, and as you exhale, just bring yourself over your right knee. So options, stay in the first position, or maybe come into this position. Come into second position, bring your torso all the way back down, over your leg, and try to bring your forehead back down to the mat, or onto a prop. And one more breath here. And then slowly start to make your way back up. Bring your hands in front. Tuck your toes, come back into your downward dog. Pedal out your feet if you need to. And then when you're ready, bring your left knee behind your left wrist, and left foot behind your right wrist. And really tuck that right hip under. So again, making our way to a pigeon on the other side. Hands by your sides, extend your spine. Inhale. As you exhale, just walk your torso over your front leg. Really tucking that right hip under. So again, use blocks or cushions if you need to. Arms extended if you can. Obviously bend the elbows if your shoulders are really tight. Once in position, keep drawing your right hip under your left hip back. And just bringing your attention to your breath. You can really use your breath to draw it down to any juicy spots that you're feeling. So you can stay here. On your next inhale, walk your hands up, turn your body over your left knee, and exhale, draw your torso over your left knee. So again, choose the option that feels right to you. If you're drawing yourself over your knee again, try to extend the arms and bring your forehead down to the mat or onto a prop. And then slowly start to make your way back up. And start to bring yourself back into your downward dog. Again, do whatever you need to here. Maybe walk out your dog. Bend the knees to one side and then the other. Whatever you feel is right for you. And when you're ready, you're just going to drop down to your knees. And we're going to come to sit on our bottom, bring the soles of our feet together and let the knees splay out to the sides. So remember, two options here. You can either bring your heels in towards your groin, or you might find it easier just to have your feet away from you. Then just place your hands over your toes or your ankles. Let your arms rest onto the inside of your legs. Take an inhale. As you exhale, with a nice straight spine, just let your chest draw down towards the mat. And then slowly come back up. Come to lie on your mat. I'm just going to come to a bridge pose. So have your feet and knees hip distance, heels underneath your knees, toes pointing forward. And then place your arms down by your sides, palms facing down. Press into the soles of your feet, your palms, your arms and your shoulders. And as you inhale, slowly lift your lower spine, your middle spine, your upper spine off the mat. Just going to hold it here. So really draw the chest up towards your chin and draw your pubic bone down towards your knees. So you should feel your thighs engaging here. Now if you want, you can interlace your hands behind your lower back, really rolling your shoulders under. You can stay there. Or you can bend the elbows and bring your palms underneath your waist, if that's available to you. And then if you want, you can raise your right leg up to the ceiling, and then slowly bring it down, and then your left leg. Just do one more of these. And then if you've got your hands under your waist, or your hands interlaced behind your back, slowly bring your palms back down to the mat. And we're going to slowly, vertebra by vertebra, bring ourselves back onto the mat. And remember to tuck your tailbone so your whole back goes onto the mat. Well done. Just draw your knees into your chest. And let's make our way to a happy baby. So remember, you can grab the backs of your legs, or your ankles, the insides of your feet, index middle finger around your big toe, or the outside of your foot. So there's lots of options here. Again, choose one that's available to you. Once in position, you want the soles of your feet to face towards the ceiling, knees to draw down to your side, and try to bring the lower back down to the mat. So that's the position we're aiming for. If you've got really tight hips, then obviously do take a modified version. Maybe just rock your baby here. And then slowly draw your knees back to your chest, hug your knees in. And when you're ready, you're going to slowly start to make your way into our final pose, Shavasana. Just lengthen your legs out in front of you. Arms down by your sides. Let your feet splay out. Soften your legs and your thighs. Soften your arms, forearms, palms facing up to the ceiling. Let your fingertips roll in. Maybe notice that tingly sensation at the centre of your palms and your fingertips. And then just soften the whole body down into the mat. Maybe tilt your chin in towards your chest slightly so your neck's nice and long. And press the shoulders into the mat so the chest is nice and open. Release any tension in your face and your jaw. Maybe just lick your lips here. And then slowly soften that area around your eyes, your cheeks and your forehead as we come into our final pose, Shavasana. So I invite you to stay in Shavasana for at least 5 to 10 minutes to really reap the benefits of today's practice. Namaste.